Man, does time fly. It feels like literally just yesterday that I was headed out to New Jersey collecticon, and then it feels like only 6 hours ago that I was coming back from Jersey collecticon, and here we are already fast forward 2 weeks later, and I'm getting ready to go down to Charlotte collecticon. If you guys haven't been watching this channel, I fly out super early on Friday, so 6 a.m. on Friday. I will be on a plane, so I'm gonna have to leave my house at like 3 a.m. I am not looking forward to that early wake up, but I am looking forward to Friday. And then I'm going to be in Charlotte all day on Friday. I'll probably be around Friday night. And then Saturday morning and throughout the day on Saturday, I'll be at the collecticon. I'm not vending. Thank you. I'm not vending. But I'll be able to go hop around people's tables. I'm really, really going to do my best. I know I say this all the time when I'm at collecticons, but I am going to try to do a live walk through the event. I was able to successfully do it in Denver, and depending on how service is, I'm going to try my best at Charlotte. But then I fly out Saturday night out of Charlotte. So I fly in super early on Friday and fly out super late on Saturday. But you know what? It's worth it. This hobby is worth it. You guys are worth it. But it's going to be a ton of fun. If any of you guys are making it to Charlotte for the first time and you never met me in person, feel free to hit me up on Instagram if you can't find me at the event. I'm sure it's going to be a lot of people there. And be like, hey, PK, I've always wanted to meet you. Just hit me up. I'll let you know where I am. But it's a lot of fun. A lot of good friends are going to be there. It is pretty sad that the Gen Con is also stacked up exactly perfectly with Collecticon. So there's going to be a lot of people like PokeChef, Walrus, Nick Old School Pokemon. They're all going to be at Gen Con. Nick's going to be doing a big in-person eBay live. So, I mean, I'm really happy for Nick. But obviously, from a selfish standpoint, I do wish I get to see Nick again. Nick's always a good time, Old School Pokemon. But, yeah, I'm just going to say something right now. As of right now, on Hills Wholesale Gaming, Twilight Masquerade booster box cases are $660. Okay? I said it when they were sub $600. I said it when they jumped up overnight to $648. Now they've jumped up another $12, and they're at $660 a case. So I still think it's a good buy. That's $110 a booster box, and if you want to just pick up one booster box, they're still available on Hills for $110. Yes, it's a Boomer website. Yes, you will have to pay shipping. Take all that into account, but it's there. I like it. I liked it at sub 600. I liked it at 650. I still like it at 660. Twilight Masquerade still available. If you have not picked up your one booster box of Twilight Masquerade, pick it up. I'm going to keep saying that. But, Fat Belly Collect says, how long till we get that first gulp? Well, there you go, Fat Belly Collects. That was your first gulp of water. Can I, tell you guys a couple things? One, it took me a long time to find these, but I finally pulled them out. A lot of people were messaging me, asking me about, like, the gold cards. So these, if you guys don't know what these are, most, if not all of you, should know. But these are the original 1999 Burger King gold cards. So they're 23 karat gold plated cards. PSA just started grading them. I had these tucked away in a box, and that box was not easily accessible. It took me a while just to get to that box. I opened it up, but I pulled out the Charizard. I pulled out the Pikachu. Now I got the boxes over there of like the other ones, like Poliwrath, Jigglypuff. Yeah, there's a few more, but I'm going to send away these two. I pulled out my best of them, and I pulled out my best Charizard, pulled out my best Pikachu. I haven't even looked on the market yet. I don't know what they're selling for, if any of them have hit the market. Don't know. Don't care yet, but I'm going to send away two. And I want to give you guys a little word of advice right now. Remove out of Pokemon. Still find things in just this hobby. And when I say this hobby, that still excites you. That still makes you excited and happy and joyful. And I found a dead TCG. Well, it's not a dead TCG. It's just a dead collectible card game that I never knew existed. And I thought I have scoured the internet for every single, dead TCG, dead TCG that exists. I am not shilling this product. I just want to let you know that I got this in the mail finally today. It was one of those things where it sat on eBay forever. It was on best offer. I threw out a best offer. I got it for, sub $25, so it was less than $1 per pack. And I got it in the mail today, and it just made me happy. If I leave you with anything from now to the day I die, if I can just give you any advice, it's just find something that makes you happy. Find something in this hobby that makes you happy. And if that thing is dead card games or things nobody cares about, but it makes you happy, that's all that matters. So I found this. I'm going to show it now. I don't have a position in these. This is the only booster box I own. This is the only booster box I plan to own. But if you guys are from my generation, this is 1991 Mattel. It was made by Martin Handfold. Just randomly came across, didn't know this existed on eBay. Do you see this? This was such a big part of my childhood, was the Where's Waldo books. Like I don't even remember, it was like 3 or 4, and I used to look through the Where's Waldo books forever. Come to find out, there was a booster box of trading cards. I looked through the set list. The set list all have Where's Waldo, but more importantly, it's a 128 card set. And if you put them together, you could create 6, there's the front side of the card, and then you flip it over, it's the back side of the card, and you could create 16 different Where's Waldo scenes. I'm not shilling this product, I'm just letting you know. This has existed, and I never knew. When I discovered that this is a product that existed, it just filled me with joy. And I just told you I spent less than $1 per pack at a best offer sale. And I'm the only purchase of this product in the last couple months. But I found out, and the thing is I never knew it existed. And when it comes to dead TCGs, I love keeping this stuff sealed, but even the box artwork, listen, this is my generation. I remember Where's Waldo's books. So, this is the side of the box. And love it. Listen, if I'm going to leave you with anything, please find stuff that just makes you happy. And it doesn't have to make anybody else happy. And it doesn't have to make sense. But let it be what happened to me today. When I came home, I opened up my mailbox. I looked inside. There was a box. I opened up that box. And there was a $24 booster box that I just purchased on eBay for a little less than that, was probably what it was after taxes. And it just makes me happy. There's a lot of stuff that goes on in this hobby. There's a lot of money that gets thrown around. I know a lot of people are super worried with scan packs right now, and all the cool stuff that IIC's doing with the CT scanning and stuff, and whatever is going to happen with that. And I know people are all worried about their vintage products, and people are worried about reprints, and people are worried about being scammed, and people are worried about resales, and people are worried about getting scammed on eBay, and people are worried about authenticity, and people are worried about sending cards to grade, and people are worried about shipping product, and all the million nuances that come along with this hobby. And it could be so stressful at times, but I just ask you, please sometimes just find something that you enjoy, that you love. And that right there, super cheap, sub $1 a pack, and it fills me with joy. I have to be filled with joy. But what else fills me with joy is just the community. And guess what? Tomorrow, it's going to be a community full day. I'm flying out. I'm going to see some absolutely awesome people tomorrow. I did everything that I possibly could to get to this. And that means selling a lot at Jersey, really being nice to the wife so the wife would let me go 2 weekends in a row. Really tried everything that I could to make tomorrow happen. And it's just because this community, I'm just surrounded by such great people. But, yeah, there's nothing to really talk about today. One of the big things that we could talk about is just the CT scanning, but on Tuesday did an entire live talking about my thoughts on the CT scanning. If you guys haven't watched that video yet, I do recommend you going back, watching that. Like, every single YouTube channel right now, that's all anybody's talking about. CT scanning packs, CT scanning, what's this going to mean for the future of the hobby? For right now, I'm burnt out from that conversation of like having it, but we'll see. I am curious to see how a lot of stuff rolls out. I still am hoping to get the CEO live on a chat. Like, I really think that would be a pretty awesome thing just for transparency, especially for the community. I think it was really good when I was able to get Nat Turner on. I really, really hope that I could get the CEO of IIC on here too. And just kind of like, I want to hear their thoughts, but there's nothing more I could add right now. I mean, just right now, eBay sales are normal. They're actually, it's weird. Like, I have had a couple things that hadn't sold, or I shouldn't say hadn't sold, some stuff that was just listed forever, and I finally got a couple sales. But I have big PSA submissions that I've been waiting to roll out, and it's no secret at this point, but the first of the month, there's always some sort of new PSA special that rolled out. I've been really, really holding off. I didn't submit anything towards the end of July, and I was like, okay, I'll just wait for the August special to see what it was. And again, for like the 4th month in a row, just super disappointed on what that eBay special was. Excuse me, not the eBay special. Extremely disappointed on what the PSA special was. PSA special right now for bulk TCG is $13.99, and that's $13.99's pretty much the dollar amount we've seen going on now for the last couple months. And I was like, okay, I think August might be the month that maybe we see like $12.99, or maybe they stop doing specials and they just drop the price. But PSA is just pretty much holding strong right now at these pretty, higher prices. And the difference between, $13.99, so just call it $14. The difference between $14 and $10 is huge. And I know there's a lot of people are really, really like waiting for that $10 special, because the fact of the matter is a lot of cards, especially like cards that you want to grade because you think that they're going to have easy liquidity, and those easy liquidity cards are going to be ultra modern cards. The problem is the most ultra modern stuff that's been released is all Scarlet and Violet, and Scarlet and Violet print quality up until this point has been pretty lackluster, and that is being nice. It's been pretty rough on a lot of Scarlet and Violet, especially like IRs and stuff. That you look at IRs for certain Scarlet and Violet sets, and the prices right now are preposterous, just because like the 10 population is so low, and there's probably like a compounding thing too, is not only is the population low, is there's probably just a lot of people like me that are just not sending a lot of these modern cards because they're not worth it. And the problem right now for super modern, and especially when it comes to PSA, on the lower dollar amount stuff, on the higher dollar amount stuff, there is still relatively decent margin, but it's just not worth it to send a lot of this stuff. One of the new special illustration rare box, I don't know what you want to call it, but the new Shrouded Fable box that came out, it's like the Kingdra and Greninja. I think that Greninja is a good play in the short term, especially looking at what Twilight Masquerade Greninja Chase is doing. The problem is that's like one of the few, submit in bulk plays that's going to be happening right now, and we're going to see a lot of those cards hit the market pretty quick. And I bet you those cards are going to have a nice little premium for the first couple that hit the market. But we're going to go back to the absolute race to the bottom, because that card is just going to be graded in such crazy mass, because people are going to be trying to latch on to any little shred of margin that exists right now for modern. And then not only shred of margin that exists for modern, but a shred of margin that exists for ultra modern promos. Recently, ultra modern promos have not been nice. You go back and you think about like a lot of Sword and Shield promos, there was a lot of really good ultra modern Sword and Shield promos. The good thing about Scarlet and Violet is Scarlet and Violet ETBs introduced promos, which was great, but the regular ETB promos, they don't sell for shit. It's Pokemon Center ETB promos or bust, and that's unfortunate. Even like the Pikachu, or I love the Obsidian Flames Charmander. It's a beautiful card, but you grade that baby in a 9, it doesn't have crazy premiums, and you brick and you hit it. Sorry, you grade that card in a 10, it doesn't have amazing premiums. You grade that card in a 9, and it's more or less a huge brick. Again, now, Pokemon Center exclusive promos, those Pokemon Center exclusive promos have still been a good play. The problem is the 10s for a lot of those cards have been really, really few and far between. We're just running into a real rough time right now of like the ultra, like low end modern singles. And one of the important things about ultra low modern end singles is one of the reasons that a lot of those are attractive to a lot of people is because you don't have to just put up a ton of money up front in order to get a lot of these things in mass, be able to search through them, grade the 10 candidates, and then sell back, the raw candidates. Where on the higher end, when you look at a card like Greninja, if you want to do that, it does get really pricey really quick. And then especially with the Greninja, where print quality right now, especially for like Twilight Masquerade, has been pretty brutal. So in order to actually, source a lot of these cards, pre-grade them, you end up tying up a ton of money because you're going to have all that money tied up while you're waiting for those cards to be away at grading. Then you have all that money tied up until you're trying to sell those singles back onto the market. So it's rough. It's rough for the modern single game. For those of you guys out there that are doing it and grinding and been like super, super successful, like more power to you. And I know a lot of people were speculating on alt arts too, because Sword and Shield alt arts had crazy, crazy run-ups in the near term, and then a lot of people were, really going hard, picking up a lot of those alt arts. But the problem is it's a thing I talk about all the time on this channel. People don't ever want anything if it's cheap. They only ever want it when it's expensive. So you could have a lot of those Sword and Shield alt arts sat, pretty much stagnant for months and months, and then all of a sudden they have huge parabolic gains. Everybody dumps in trying to pick up these raw alt arts because the prices are going crazy. They think it's their last chance. They end up sending them away for grading. You're still looking, even at bulk, like a 1 month turnaround time. And then what happened? All those Sword and Shield, big chase alt arts started to settle down. They're not crashing, but they're definitely settling much lower than the highs. So then you're finding a lot of people who did invest a lot of money trying to like chase that, but it's not even chasing a falling knife. It's the opposite. I talk about it all the time, trying to chase a rocket ship. You're trying to jump on. It's literally the worst possible time to chase cards is when things are going crazy. And this is the hardest part of the hobby, and I think this is where you lose a lot of people in the conversation, is the best buys are when things are undervalued. And sometimes if you think things have good, fundamentals, as the only thing that's undefeated in this time, or in this hobby, which is Father Time, as Father Time keeps ticking second by second, minute by minute, hour by hour, day by day, year by year, eventually everything seems to go up. But for whatever reason, is once people like have stagnant money, they get so antsy. They don't want anything that is not moving or not super volatile. For some reason, everybody feels more comfortable in super, super volatile markets where everything is going crazy. You're having huge spikes in dollar amounts, and for whatever reason, I don't understand this, and I probably will never understand this. A lot of people just don't find like comfort in steady growth of stuff. For whatever reason, people only feel comfortability in violent price swings. And I think maybe they only feel comfortable in violent price swings is maybe because at that point, maybe it's a mental thing. It's reassuring to them that they own something that they know other people want. Because in the other end of the spectrum, where you're buying stuff that you think is undervalued and you're waiting, at that point, you're then sitting on stuff hoping that people end up wanting it in the future, which happens all the time. We see it happen all the time. But maybe people just want, like that, for whatever reason, reinforcement in a lot of their thoughts. Anyways, guys, it's not going to be a super long live. I have to wake up at 3 a.m. I have to pack. I have to pack a couple cards and stuff. I'm not bringing a lot. I'm just bringing a carry-on, so I'm not even bringing I'm not even checking a bag, so I'm not bringing like a ton of product. And I have not packed my bag yet. I have not pulled anything. And then I have a couple things came in the mail in the last week. I haven't even opened. I have a bunch of stuff sitting over there. Oh, I got this in the mail. This came in the mail today. I guess now I'm a Harry Potter collector. So I showed you the other day. It was 3 boxes of Quidditch. But now this is the Harry Potter movie. Know nothing about these. Wizard of the Coast, though. I had the text Rock, or I Instagram message Rock Pokemon about these. I was like, Rock, Wizard of the Coast made Harry Potter movie cards. Do people like those? And he's like, yeah. He's like, they're all right. He's like, I would probably go with the other. I would stay away from these. But I was like, nah, screw it. They were cheap. So I picked them up. It's an open box, though. So no shrink wrap, but it's all 36. It's all 36 packs though. But I picked it up. It was cheap. Figured I just put it away. There's just some stuff that you don't have. You gotta check a box. But yeah, I reached out to Rock about those, and Rock's like, that's probably not the best product, but I didn't have one, so now I do. Now I do. If you guys have any questions, please let me know. So we got Namp90, good to see you. We got Garen M. Maxwell Gonzalez. Thrifty. Are you going to be in Charlotte? I don't know. I know Thrifty was at Jersey. It was good to see Thrifty. Me and Thrifty on the first day, we drove back from the con together. So I loaded up my car. Thrifty came with me. We went from collecticon Jersey to the hotel. And I don't know if Thrifty told this story publicly, but Thrifty managed to leave. Well, first we were at her section, we were getting everything ready. We're like, all right, let's go back. And then she forgets her book bag. So, good job, Thrifty. So, Lou Mill said, happy to finally make a live and not watch this video afterwards. Well, appreciate you. Sorry that this is going to be one of the later lives we do. Let's see. So, Jack Queen with Pokemon said, not eligible for the $13.99 August special. Are you not eligible because you don't have a PSA membership? PSA membership has been worth it. I mean, this is a card. I haven't even opened it out of the plastic yet. But there you go. That card alone, thank you, PSA. You paid for my entire membership for the entire year having that. And actually, something I have not done. Try not to dox myself, put up my address, but I do not have. It'd be sweet if I had a serialized magazine. I didn't even look. I think all the serializations are on the back though. So, nope, I do not have a serialized magazine, unfortunately. So what are we on? This was volume 4 of the PSA magazine. Yeah, volume 4. So I'm currently 0 for 4 when it comes to serialized magazines, but that's okay. Fresh Tat says CT scanner on the desk, hit your boy up. Or sorry, CT scanner on deck, hit your boy up. Yeah. Corey said Infernape IRs make him happy. Yes. Pokemage87, great point. He says if you CT scan through the box, you will find Waldo. Though that is true. So I don't even have to open this box to find Waldo. He's correct. Why didn't I think of that? I like it. So Tom B said he's been buying sealed video games lately. All his favorite from OG Xbox and 360. So Tom B, you gotta let me know. Is your favorite Xbox game the greatest Xbox game, which is Gears of War? Gears of War 1, Gears of War 2, Gears of War 3. There was nothing like in college, called it Gears and Beers. That was one of the best time. My freshman year, my freshman dorm, we all had 360s. We all had Gears of War. And we would play, because you could like do LAN connections there. Even though you can play Xbox Live, for whatever reason, the college I went to my freshman year, super laggy. You just couldn't play Xbox Live online. You would just get knocked off all the time. But everybody, well, there was 4 Xbox on the dorm, and you can do split screen. So we would do teams of 4 and 4, and yeah, we would play Gears and beers, that's what we used to call it. Lumil said, hey PK, what do you think will be the next set to take off? I think Twilight Masquerade will be the next set to take off, and then it's definitely not going to be Shroud of Fable. I don't know what's going on with this Dragon set. That Eevee set, I don't know, and then the Team Rocket set. It's going to be interesting. Like, I hope the Dragon set is big. I hope the Eevee set is big. I hope the Team Rocket set is big. But I am leaning a little bit towards, I don't know if all three of those sets is going to be as big as a lot of people are hoping. But if anything, if I had to just blindly say it without Twilight Masquerade popping off, which I think it's on its way to, the Team Rocket set, but that's so far away. And then if the Team Rocket set, I personally believe it's going to be a main expansion. If the Team Rocket, Gloria Team Rocket sets ends up becoming a specialty set, that'll definitely make me sad. Basic Trainer, he is going to be in Charlotte. He says, maybe we'll go live this weekend in Charlotte, Taz. Stay tuned. Basic Trainer is the #1 reoccurring guest on this channel. It's been a while since Basic... Well, has it been a while? I guess it's kind of... It depends how you look at it. Basic came on for that absolute D-Gen session we did. It was like 5.5 hour live. Only Basic... You could only bring on Basic Trainer if you are mentally preparing yourself for a 5.5 hour live. So, there's one person you can call. That's Basic Trainer. I don't know if I've ever said this publicly or if I said this to Basic, but when Basic Trainer did his 24-hour live stream, I listened in on every single one of those minutes at 2x speed, and it took, I don't know, it took a while to make it through a 24-hour live stream, but I ended up listening back to it on 2x speed. I think the only part of that 24-hour live stream I skipped is any of the parts that I'm on. I was already there for it. I didn't have to re-listen to that, so I skipped through all that part. So, but I probably listened to a solid 20 plus hours worth of that live stream, and that was some good D-Gen stuff. Let's see. So, Poopin' Turtle 69 said, hot take, the Greninja EX promo looks like the Greninja Full Art. I don't think that's a hot take. I think that's a pretty correct take. Jump to the bottom. Happy TCG said, grab most alt arts before PSA 10s before they double. Let's see. So Dylan says, I do a little bit of both. Biggest gains are always when no one else is looking. That's usually what happens. But I think people get antsy too. I think it's stagnant money too, and it's sometimes it's tough, I don't know, to lock up money for that long. John Powline said, the alts aren't crashing, they are correcting, and most of them have corrected to... Oh, yeah. I never said that they're crashing. I said people ended up jumping on the rocket ship and ended up buying at the highs, and now they're struggling. But yeah, no, alt arts aren't crashing. It's subjective, right? Like, all these alt arts are higher than they were. It's just a matter of... The problem is they don't get to those all-time highs unless people are dumping into those to, make them go up. And then you have what is normal. You have a market correction. So you'll have a lot of people that are making the most money are the people selling into that FOMO, because they know that the high is near, or at least the ceiling is there. So what happens is you have a ton of people just, this is the opportunity, sell, and then as those buyers happen, but eventually that buyer pool dries up, and then it just, prices instantly crash. Or because you have so many people dumping supply into the market because they're trying to capitalize on these crazy gains, then you end up with oversupply. Then you end up with, that oversupply is going to cause prices to drop until eventually it's going to correct. But then, yeah, those corrections are almost always the new highs of cards. And then there are the extreme examples, which you have, in the pandemic, which when you ever look at a chart of like PSA 9 base set Charizards, just go back one day. If you ever get a chance, go on one of the, websites that track pricing and just type in Charizard PSA 9. You will see the biggest spike that ever existed in this hobby, and then the biggest correction that ever existed in this hobby. Not to say that that's what modern, modern alt arts are doing, but there's been some big corrections in the hobby. But the problem is the people that made the most money in that 2020 timeline, they were selling into that, call it irrational market. But then even that Charizard in a PSA 9, even though prices, look at this. If you look at the chart looks like this. It's just, it's like, here we are, and then just up, down. But if you draw a line, across from where it is today, it's still way above like what it was at the bottom. So it's still above that low. But yeah, that's just normal Pokemon. Felipe de Sosa said, bought a bunch of Wizard of the Coast loose packs today. Should be okay though. The guy I bought them from works at a hospital in the CT scanner wing. Think I know him. Chevals, yeah. I think the CT scanning is going to be interesting. I think the market's all over the place. I think like what the actual capabilities of all this stuff is. I mean, I think people are talking crazy stuff. Like people are just going to put on a platform and scan an entire palette. I've heard like extreme scanning entire palettes of cards and products. I don't see that as ever being a possibility. I just don't know enough about the technology yet, but I would go on a limb and say scanning an entire palette worth of Pokemon is not possible. But that's one of the reasons why I love to get, the CEO on and say like, well, what is possible? We know booster boxes are possible because they showed them on their website and stuff, but I don't think a palette's possible. And then other people are like, oh, it's the same stuff. I don't think so. Jimbo Slice says, what Scarlet and Violet booster boxes you buy in chat? I need some Masquerade, yeah. Let's see. Magikarp Collector said, somebody probably CT scanned the Harry Potter box. Everything has been pre-scanned now. There's nothing that exists. My $24 Where's Waldo box 100% has been CT scanned. Everything has now been CT scanned. Do I have to put this in a listing if I ever sell this in the future? Where's Waldo box? Buy it now price. By that point, it will be $49.99. You could currently buy one for $23.99, but in the future, it will be $49.99. Do I have to put in the title, has not been CT scanned? Chill Phil said, PK, thoughts on the Pokemon Together Pikachu card? So, this Pikachu card. Thoughts on this card? If you can pick up good bundles on Pokemon Center, pick up a couple. I wouldn't go crazy hard on them. I think there's going to be a lot of them, but one thing about this hobby is people love exclusive promos. People love stamps. So pick up a couple. Why not? I mean, there was an okay bundle. The bundle I ended up buying was a 2-pack pin blister. It had Fusion Strike pack in it and a Battle Styles pack. But then later they ended up having a bundle where you could pick up 3 Crown Zenith tins. So the Crown Zenith tins have 5 packs apiece, but it was like $75. So I did the 2 packs. I bought 3 of those bundles. I'd just say if you don't have any, it's worth it to pick up one. But I don't recommend buying like all the plushies and stuff, and try to find whatever one is the cheapest price point possible. Thrifty, you broke my heart. She said, no Charlotte for me, sadly. That makes me sad. Jimbo Slice says, would you buy serialized cereal? Well, seeing how I have that Dragon Ball Reese's Puff $40 box that is now worth greater than $200, yes, I would buy serialized cereal. Not to collect, but to flip. So question, did you enter the 2024 World Championship Fantasy Team Contest? You get instant 10% off plus a chance to win a prize in September. I did not, and I didn't even know that was a thing. I'm gonna have to look into that. New said, can you talk about the PSA membership and selecting which type of magazine you get? So, I don't know, when you just join the PSA membership, you haven't, well, I I had my PSA membership was older, so PSA had sent out an email and it was like, click on this or because I had already graded TCGs in the past, I don't know, through PSA's system they knew to send me, like, I guess maybe I was on the TCG mailing list, I don't know. But it said, hey, you've graded TCGs in the past, would you like to switch your PSA membership? Click here. You click there on the email, and then it was just, I think, like one other click, and then you go from the sports magazine to the TCG magazine. But for new members, I couldn't tell you the new membership, but it's super, super easy. And if I'm going to guess that when you sign up as a new member, I can't confirm this because I haven't done it, but I'm going to assume that when you sign up as a new member, I'm sure that's just one question that PSA asks you. Would you like to accept the sports magazine PSA, or would you like to accept the TCG? I think it's probably pretty easy. And if it is something more than that, all you got to do is just probably call the PSA customer service desk. If you've ever tried to call the PSA customer service desk, find out what time they open, call the number, it will say, sorry, we open at X time, set your alarm, call at that exact moment. So if it opens up at, let's say, 8 a.m. your time, whatever time you're in, time zone you're in, if it says 8 a.m., call exactly at 8 a.m. And then you'll hear an automated like message through PSA. It's like, you are number 46 in the queue. Would you like a representative to call you back when it's your turn in line? And then you just hit yes, please call me back. And then PSA in an hour, 2 hours, or 3 hours, depending on where you are in that queue, they'll just call you back. So you don't have to sit on hold. I know a lot of people think that the PSA customer service hotline's rough, but it's not. You literally just call, get in the queue, and then they call you back when it's your turn. And if you just call as soon as they open, though, like, because as soon as they open, you're going to get in that queue. And I think the highest I ever got in the queue was something crazy, like 7, which was preposterous to be the set. But it was, I was waiting my phone. I think it was like 7 a.m. my time. And as soon as 7 a.m. came, I just hit the number, called, got in the queue, yeah. And I was like number 7. I think that's the lowest I've ever got. Let's see. Oh, jump to the bottom. Hold on, jump to the bottom. Let's see. So, Chill Phil said, Halo 2 OG had the original Xbox. Yes, Halo 2 was good. I remember, like, sleeping over one of my buddy's house and just because I never had a regular Xbox growing up. The first Xbox I ever got was 2006, and I got the Xbox 360. That was my first ever sweet gamer tag, but it wasn't PK, unfortunately. But that was the first system I ever got, or first Xbox system I ever got was Xbox 360. But I remember like going over my buddy's house and playing Halo, and he had a couple brothers, so we were able to do like, I always grew up as a GoldenEye, so I was used to like the 4-way split screen, but we would all be like in his living room playing on the 4-way split screen of Halo, and I just remember thinking like, this is so crazy. The graphics on here is just wild, and thinking it was the greatest game that ever existed. But yeah, Halo 2 was good too. I played a lot of Halo 3 though because I was a 360 guy. So Tom B said, those are definitely some of my favorite. Gears 2, probably my favorite. I liked Halo more, but Gears of War, top tier. Playing campaign with your friends online was so sick. Yeah, Gears had a lot of like things going for it. Had a cool storyline too. It kind of fell off on the later games with the early Gears, especially like the chainsaw lancer gun. It was just such an awesome thought. Like Marcus Phoenix was the guy you would play. There was Dom, and then you would fight against the Locust. Oh yeah, badass. The boom shot, torque bow, sniper rifle, hammer burst. What were all the other guns? Frags, smoke grenades. Oh yeah, all kinds of stuff. Basic Trainer said he's a number 2 in the mod. Number 2 mod in the game, he'll take it. Yeah. Basic Trainer said he's going to work on a 25-hour live stream this year. Well, let me know. I'll definitely tune in and I'll join it too. Let's see. Chill Phil said, remember you'll pull that Zard and Mewtwo at Leonhardt pop-up shop? I got mine sitting right there. That's the Mewtwo that I pulled from the Leonhardt pop-up shop. So, basic trainers got the pedigree. Mine did not, so normally you don't have to look at the screen, but this was... There she is. That's my Mewtwo that I pulled at the Leonhardt pop-up shop. It sits behind me on every one of my videos, which is... I ironically never touched this card, but I actually touched this card like pretty recently too, to show to somebody, which is weird that that happened so close back to back. But yeah, basics Zard, if you guys don't know, it's now public knowledge, but his was a PSA 9, which was weird too, because they definitely came off the same sheet, because they were from the same blister box, or blister packs, and they came from the same box, so it definitely looked like it was from the same sheet. But this is pretty clean. It's a little heavy right to left on the back, but who knows? Maybe one day I'll bring it and we'll just see if we could do an old Beckett crossover. Can you imagine if I could turn a Leonhardt pop-up shop PSA 10 into some sort of crazy Beckett black label? Because the corners are super clean on this. Super pack fresh. But what are you going to do? Cheval's out there? Where's Cheval's? Good to see you, Cheval's. I see number 1 mod in the game. He said he finally got the baby to bed. Good for you, Joe. So Maxwell said number 1 mod implies the existence of number 2 and number 3 mod. So I feel like it's 3 men enter, 1 man lives. It's going to be Mad Max rules for the mods. So Drew's number 1. And then 2 and 3 have to fight it out. Let's see. So Magikarp Collect, this is interesting. He says, anybody who puts anything about scanning on a listing is automatically assumed as scanning. Just like a listing saying unweighed pack, yeah. Cardboard Collector said, PK, sell me your PSA 10 Cosmos promos in Charlotte. I'm only bringing a carry-on. I'm not going to be able to bring that much stuff. Oh, no. Jump to the bottom again. Let's see. Only buy vintage from reputable sources like TCA Gaming, etc. Yeah. I don't know. I think when it comes to CT scanning too, I think what is going to eventually have to happen is people will have to CT scan, and then they'll have to say this product was CT scanned, and then this product has not been CT scanned. I think a lot of people are blowing it out of proportion, like what is being scanned. I don't think Evolving Skies booster boxes are being CT scanned. Well, that's a problem. Time's going to mean a lot. So Chill Phil said GoldenEye. Yeah, GoldenEye is the GOAT of all. You guys want to open up a... Hold on. You guys want to open up one of these? We'll do a very special pack opening. So, you guys know what this is. GoldenEye. 8 cards per pack. Odds of finding James Bond puzzle cards approximately 1 in 11 packs. Gadgets of Q approximately 1 in 17 packs. GoldenEye cards approximately 1 in 35 packs. Stated odds reflect average of entire production run. 1995 GoldenEye pack. 8 cards. I've never opened one of these either. So. Oh yeah. This brings me back. So this is the train level. Well, I'm thinking about GoldenEye the game, but yeah. So this was the train. Oh yeah, you got James Bond, Natalia. I don't know who that other guy is. Oh. Don't remember this. This was that random guy that showed up in the movie with his Hawaiian shirt. Little Pierce Brosnan James Bond card. Ooh, what is this? It looks fancy. What is this? James Bond is back. I don't know. That's a rough painting. Oh yeah. Xena. Tell me you don't remember this person from the movie. If you know, you know. You know. Oh, you know. You know what I'm talking about. Yep. So if you guys want to buy some GoldenEye packs, I'm pretty sure that booster box was about $17. Comes with 36 packs, so 50 cents a pack. I will charge you 57 cents per pack. Who wants a pack? That's huge profit margins right there. Let's see. Number one mod in the game, always bringing the good advice, says like and subscribe. Jimbo Slice says, I want a Q weapon. Yeah, Gadget, sorry. Thrifty TCA, or yeah, Thrifty TCG said, Pierce Brosnan rookie grill, yes. Should we sleeve that Pierce Brosnan? Here, how about we do this? I'll make you guys a deal. You guys will be part of something special. So we'll sleeve this Pierce Brosnan. And then right there, we got the GoldenEye. There you guys. There you go. You guys have something now added to the back of my display. So we now have the Pierce Brosnan card is now a part of the backdrop. And you will know. That will be our secret. My secret, your secret. We won't tell anybody else. Alright. Pretty much made it to the bottom. Alright, guys. Listen. I'm going to be in Charlotte tomorrow if you guys are around at the recommended hotel. I'm going to be around all day on Saturday at the event. Come by, say hi to me. Oh, don't say hi. I won't be vending, but hit me up. We'll definitely meet up. If you see me walk in the convention hall, feel free to walk up to me. It's always fun. But as always, guys, I'm tired. I'm not tired. I got a lot to do before bed because I have to wake up at 3 a.m. But as always, guys, appreciate every single one of you. If you could do me one favor before you click off this video, hit that like button. If you're new to this channel, hit that subscribe button. If you do want to know when I'm going to go live, hit that bell notification. But as always, I'll catch you on the next video.